The government will kill you. My mom and dad keep telling me the government will kill you. You will not be the first. The government kills people. But I'm like, do you think the kind of life and the quality of life that we're living is really even anything to know, to say that I want to live 50 years because this life is it, man. This is it. Is not. I struggle every day as a single mom to just bring my boys up, and it is not because I do not have the potential. It is not because I do not work hard. It is because the system has failed us. So if I do not speak, who will speak? Do I wait for my children to come and continue the struggle that I am in at this particular moment? So even when I leave the house, I keep telling my children, I may go out and I will not come back.
Okay, so as the government, in a way, been a threat to your activism?
I mean, the many times I've been arrested. I think every single time we are arranging demos, we are out on the streets, we are saying there's this thing that we don't want. The government is not happy. Yeah. So one of our biggest threats is arbitrary arrest. And when you're doing these things, especially in the community, you're marked. So even when something is happening and you're not part of it, they will tell you, hii ni kazi ya Njoki ndo anatochanga watu pale kwa mtaa, and so you really are marked by the duty bearers and those people who are the eyes and of the government qua ground. So you will find that, for example, there's this very active case that we have of the playground, the football, where the football teams play. It's a school. It's actually it's community land, but there's a church that is trying to grab. So it's been in contention for a very, very long time, and we've had people who've even been killed over that land, and we've organized so many demonstrations. The other day we were in court, but their requests were thrown out, and it's been a struggle. To a point where you're just walking on the streets and someone is threatening you and telling you hiyo maneno ya shamba, wewe ni mtoto mdogo sana kuongelea maneno ya shamba. Why are you involving yourselves in things that you do not know? Because now when you start following those cases, you realize, especially that case, when it was handed over to what was it then, to Nairobi County. It was in 1970. Like, we literally have a letter that hands that community land to Nairobi County. Yeah. Typewritten, like 1975. Yeah. Those are the wars that we're fighting till now, because we've said this is community land, nobody's going to grab this land. If we have to pay with our lives, we're actually going to pay with our lives. And so you find they use all authorities. They will use the police to intimidate us. We've been arrested so many times over that land. You get threats when you. But what do you do, man? This is the passion. So you just do what you have to do.
Okay, so like on your personal ground, maybe as a human being, as a family person, do you ever maybe sit down and fear for your life? Like, you literally fear what will happen if I continue this activism?
That I've had a very, very tough time trying to convince my parents that this is the life that I chose, because my mother has never understood. You are such a bright girl. You have a lot of potential. Yani, you just chose to be a noisemaker. You just chose to be an activist. Of all the things that you choose to be, this is what you chose to be. The government will kill you. My mom and dad keep telling me the government will kill you. You will not be the first. The government kills people. But I'm like, do you think the kind of life and the quality of life that we're living is really even anything to know, to say that I want to live 50 years because this life is it, man. This is it. Is not. We're living. We're actually surviving. Our quality of life is not good. I keep thinking we went through so much just to go to school. And it is the same reality that my children face right now. I struggle every day as a single mom to just bring my boys up, And it is not because I do not have the potential. It is not because, I do not work hard. It is because the system has failed us. So if I do not speak, who will speak? Do I wait for my children to come and continue the struggle that I am in at this particular moment? So even when I leave the house, I keep telling my children, I may go out and I will not come back, because my cost is bigger. Of course, I have personal goals, I have personal ambitions, but I also have this ambition that I want to be in a country that thrives in equity, that thrives in justice. And these things are possible. It's not like we're talking about things that are not possible. So if it means that the price is my life, then that is how it was written, by the way. That is just how I'm supposed to die. If I was supposed to die in some demonstration out there, fighting for our rights,
Yeah.
then that was just my bit. So no, I do not have that feeling of self-preservation, that my life is important. If I die today, you people will take care of my children, by the way.
Yeah, true.
You will have that responsibility of taking care of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're passionate about activism, and you seem like nothing can stop you from doing what you're passionate about. So, like in your duty as an activist and as a coordinator of Githurai Social Justice Center, was there any point or moment where you can say that your life was at the lowest as a result of being a human rights activist?
So many times. That there are days when, and you see the most difficult part about being an activist or being, an advocate for human rights, is that most of the time the people that you fight for don't even realize what you're fighting for. So you are trying to fight for their rights, but you're also trying to, with this other hand, you're trying to protect yourself from the very same people that you're trying to advocate, for. So there are times you get so frustrated. Maybe we've been having the Njaa revolution demos, just trying to say lower food prices, and then you will call a demo and you will not watafika. So and you're like, when these people are not hungry, what will it take for us Kenyans to actually just say enough is enough? Because there are times things are so hard and you can see people are struggling left, right and center, but these people are so resigned. They wameitikia tu, this is our fate, man. They tell you bora uhai, and you're trying to tell them, man, no, it was not supposed to be like this. So you really get demotivated and like, why do I do what? Why is it that I was given this burden? Why do I feel things, this intensely? Why can't I be just like any other person, become a small-time secretary in like a small firm and, be okay with my mediocre life, And then there are other times, like 3 years back, we lost a comrade. We lose a lot of colleagues and comrades in this space, and you lose them in very mysterious ways. Others in the hands of the police, others from active cases they were handling, and sometimes you're like, man, yesterday it was them, today it might be me, and so you get to a place and you're like, is it worth it?
You've lost, maybe you call them comrades.
Yeah.
You've lost them in mysterious ways. How was it trying to explain to their family members that their kids are no longer alive, and maybe they'll say it's because you took them to be part of an activist group?
I mean, I can just imagine someone going to my mom and trying to tell them that Sasa Joki is no more. I think my mom would actually I've prepared. It's been a journey with my parents.
Yeah.
They understand what I do. They understand the dangers that face me every day. They understand my realities, that one day I might I might leave the house and not come back. I might just disappear. For them, I think the process would be she loved what she does, and that is what counts, because at the end of the day they have respected my decision as as a human being. But then I can tell you it's not always easy, the bitterness, because these parents do not understand why their child had to die, and still that change that the child was trying to push for is not there. In fact, things are getting worse, so there's a lot of bitterness, and they hate activism, like hizi vitu mnafanya kwa barabara ndio zilifanya mtoto wangu akufe, na hizo vitu alikuwa anapigania bado, hata si ati maisha yetu bado tunaendelea, amwezi pata hiyo change mnataka kupigania kila siku, unaona. So it also really depends with the kind of journey different people have had with their family, with their relatives. Do they understand what you do they understand why you do what you do? Have they accepted, am they still in denial, and they want to tell you, but there you people are just mad, you're crazy, and you all need to go to to Mathare and get checked. But it's not always easy, especially for the children, because when a parent is gone, then that's just it, and nobody will understand. Nobody will come in and say, oh, this was our activist, so let's take care of this. No, in fact, the government will be very happy to use you as a lesson. Sema ule alipiga kelele, sasa si unaona alienda, sasa watoto wake wanateseka tu huko, hata shule hawaendi. Na sasa kama tu angekuwa mtu mzuri atafute kazi kwa serikali, bado angekuwa analisha watoto wake.
Okay, so if I may ask this yes or no question, do you hate the government of Kenya?
Yes. I hate the government of Kenya.
Okay. In your work, is there any moment that you've ever come across, maybe one-on-one with these cartels in an open table, and have a discussion with them instead of meeting the police officers who they always send to send you people away from demonstrating against such?
Yeah, the thing with us is we go to where those people are. I will not go to the police if the police has not come to me, to come and intimidate or attack me. We are always in forums. We're going to these offices to meet these people and telling them the truth, on their faces. Because you see, the thing is, without courage, there's nothing that you can do in this country, especially, And these people have really mastered the art of intimidation, or making you look like, but there's nothing you can do, So we face these people and we go and tell them face to face, but we know that Githurai si ati hakuna maji kwa sababu Kenya hakuna maji. Githurai hakuna maji kwa sababu mmefunga pipes za maji, divert maji, so that at the end of the day mkuje mtuuzie maji. So we don't want this kind of we don't want this kind of nonsense. We know you by names, and even with the local projects that happen, the county government projects and all those things, we know those people who get tenders, and we will go and face them and tell them, by the time show, we know you are the one who's behind this, and we will not tolerate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, as we conclude, I'll inquire about what's your ideal imagination of a perfect state, of a perfect country. Where there's equity, where there's justice, where the law works for everyone, where we have leaders who have integrity, leaders who actually care for the people, where we do not have this big gap that is here right now, because Kenya has, and the more things are actually getting worse, because the gap between the rich and the poor is really, really widening. Mpaka sahi tunatumia barabara different. Wewe kama unafika Bei kuna barabara yako, wewe kama ufiki Bei utakaa kwa jam 3 hours, And people think that this is okay. When I think about a country, first of all, we are not even supposed to be a country. We need to move from being a country to being a nation. We are not yet a nation, and it is a place where you do not place development over the people's welfare, that you're going to say tunaenda kubomoa nyumba zote Mukuru ndio tutengeneze barabara, and you're not resettling these people. You are
mnawabomolea wakati wa COVID, mnawabomolea when there is rain. You know, I have been to so many ghettos where watu wamebomolewa, and you see the tears of old women, and you ask yourself, what country is this that does this to its old people, that does this to its children? You know, when you find an old woman breaking down and saying, yani manze, everything that I've worked for all these years is down the drain, you know. So I want to be in a country where I am respected, I live a life of dignity, you know, and there's equity and there's justice. That is the country that I want to see. It was not supposed to be Bora Uhai. It is supposed to be Uhai Bora. It is possible. We have a very progressive constitution, but we also, even as we're speaking about our rights, we also need to know what our responsibilities as citizens are. And most importantly, we must unlearn the lies that we have been taught in our history for so long, because at this particular time we find ourselves celebrating villains and forgetting who our real heroes are. We must reconnect with what our true history is, so that we know how we are moving forward. Because if we are not connected to our history, if we do not know where we have come from, then we will not know where we are going. So every citizen of Kenya should take that responsibility of knowing that for Kenya to be a better country, it is up to me and you.
Okay, thank you very much, Madam, for honoring our request, and thank you for your time. I've been your host, Javan Silas, and let's meet another day.